I never thought a mask could ruin my life. Or maybe make it unforgettable. It all started on a Friday night, the office throwing one of those fancy masquerade parties. You know, the ones where people act like they're in some movie, sipping champagne, pretending to be mysterious. I walked in, wearing a black dress, a silver mask that sparkled under the lights, and a grin I wasn't even sure was mine. Music was loud, lights were low, and everyone was pretending to be someone else. I loved it. It was the perfect escape. I was sipping my drink, pretending to enjoy a conversation with a coworker I barely knew, when I felt eyes on me. Not creepy eyes, just curious. I turned, and there he was. Tall, masked, leaning casually against the bar. The kind of guy who looks like he stepped out of a magazine, but not the kind you actually want to talk to, more like the kind who notices you without even trying. I don't know why, but I walked toward him. Maybe it was the mask. Maybe it was the music. Maybe it was the tiny bit of liquid courage in my drink. "Do you come here often?" he said, his voice low and smooth. I laughed. "Is that the best line you could come up with?" He shrugged. "It's Friday. I'm allowed to try." We started talking. About everything. About nothing. About the absurdity of masks, the music, even the bad punch. I don't know why, but I felt like I knew him already. And then, something reckless happened. He leaned closer. I leaned closer. And before I even thought about it, our lips met. A quick, fiery, "oh well what just happened" kind of kiss. It was thrilling. Electric. Dangerous. I pulled back, heart racing. "Wow," I said, trying to play it cool. He smirked behind his mask. "Yeah. Wow." We laughed. We talked some more. The mask stayed on, so I didn't know his face. And I didn't care. There's something about anonymity that makes danger fun. Then, suddenly, the music changed. Slow. Moody. Perfectly dramatic. He reached for my hand. "Dance?" he asked. And I didn't say no. We danced like we were the only two people in the room. I don't remember much else, just the feel of his hand on my waist, the way he leaned in, the warmth behind the mask. Every so often, I'd catch glimpses of other couples staring, whispering, but I didn't care. Then, disaster. Or maybe fate. The clock struck 11. People started taking off masks, revealing identities. I didn't think much of it, until the man I'd kissed? He pulled off his mask. And my stomach dropped faster than the bass line of the DJ's last song. It was my boss. My actual boss. The one who sends emails at 2 a.m., the one who critiques every tiny detail I do, the one I sometimes dream about getting fired by. I froze. He froze. For a second, neither of us moved. The music faded into the background. Everything else disappeared. I wanted to disappear. I started, my voice trembling. "Hi." He blinked. Then laughed. Not awkward, not forced, just a full, real laugh. "Hi," he said. My mind went into chaos mode. How do you survive this? How do you act normal when you just kissed the person who literally signs your paycheck? I tried to take a step back. My heels clicked on the floor. "I didn't know it was you," I stammered, which was the most useless sentence in the world. Obviously, I didn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't have kissed you, duh. He raised an eyebrow, that charming eyebrow of his. Clearly. For a moment, I thought he was going to make a scene. But instead, he smiled, a little teasing, a little dangerous. "Well, now I know something about you." My heart stopped. What do you mean?" I asked, trying to sound casual, failing spectacularly. "You're braver than I thought," he said, leaning in closer. His voice dropped a little. Or maybe, a little reckless? I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me whole. I guess, I mumbled. Smooth. Real smooth. He chuckled. And then he turned, casually walking back into the crowd like nothing happened. My brain was screaming, my heart was screaming, and I was pretty sure my drink just betrayed me by spilling a little on my dress. I stood there, frozen, thinking, I just kissed my boss at a masquerade. And he didn't fire me. Yet. The rest of the night was a blur. People were laughing, masks were removed, and I was glued to the wall, replaying every second of that kiss. Every single second. Then my phone buzzed. A text. From him. Coffee tomorrow? I think we need to talk. About the mask. And other things. My knees nearly gave out. Oh no. Coffee. With my boss. Tomorrow. About a kiss I didn't even think I'd survive telling anyone about. I didn't sleep much that night. I tried to convince myself it wasn't a big deal, that it was just a masquerade fling. But the truth? The truth is, I couldn't stop thinking about him. And not just the kiss, him. Little did I know, the coffee tomorrow would be way more complicated than a simple talk. And that was just the beginning. Morning came and it was worse than any Monday I'd ever survived. Not because of work. Not because of emails. But because I had to face him. My boss. The masked kisser. Alive. And fully clothed in business attire. I tried to look confident. Brushed my hair twice, even practiced a smile that didn't scream, "Please don't talk to me about last night." I thought I was ready. I was not. The moment I stepped into the office, there he was, standing by the coffee machine, casually leaning with that infuriatingly perfect posture. "Morning, Lily," he said. Just like that. Normal. Calm. Except my heart decided to audition for a soap opera. "Morning," I mumbled. Smooth, professional, totally normal. He gave me a little smirk. That smirk that said he knew exactly what happened and that he would make me squirm in the nicest way possible. All day, it was like a minefield. I tried to focus on emails, reports, and pretending my keyboard was more interesting than the fact that my boss might still remember the kiss. Then came the first incident. I walked past his office with a stack of papers. He popped his head out. "You know," he said casually, "your mask last night really hit how dangerously cute you are. Very effective strategy." I choked on air. Papers almost fell. My cheeks were on fire. Thanks," I managed. Later, in a meeting, he casually dropped my name into a sentence. "I trust Lily will handle this carefully, unlike last night at the masquerade." I swear my pen left permanent ink marks on my hand from gripping it too hard. Everyone laughed politely, except me, who wanted to melt into my chair. And it didn't stop. Lunch break. He accidentally bumped into me in the hallway, coffee spilling slightly near my shoes. "Oh, careful," he said with mock concern. Wouldn't want a repeat of last night's drama. I wanted to disappear. I walked the rest of the day like a ghost with a deadline, avoiding him while he seemed to enjoy every tiny moment of teasing. By the end of the day, I collapsed at my desk. My best friend, Emma, noticed my distraught expression immediately. "What happened?" she asked, eyebrows raised. I groaned. "I kissed my boss. Last night. And now, he's making my life impossible. But funny impossible. And I think he's enjoying it." Emma's eyes went wide. "Wait. You kissed who? Don't. Don't even start. And yes, it was a mask. You don't understand the chaos." She laughed, which didn't help my current heart rate. "Oh my God. That is amazing. And terrible. You need a plan." I buried my face in my hands. Plan? The plan was survive Monday. That failed spectacularly. Emma grinned. Okay, survival plan then. Step 1, avoid awkward eye contact. Step 2, maybe, own it? Step 3, hide under your desk if necessary. I stared at her. Hide under my desk? Emma, I'm not 5. I don't know, normal human interaction. Normal? She scoffed. You kissed your boss at a masquerade. Normal left the building. Permanently. I sighed. She was right. But it didn't make the day easier. Every time I tried to act professional, he'd appear, smirking, teasing, making me feel like I was starring in a sitcom. By the time I got home, I was exhausted, mentally replaying every little interaction. Emma insisted on a full debrief. Tell me everything. Every detail, she commanded. I did. From the mask, to the dance, to the kiss, to the text about coffee. Emma laughed until she cried. And tomorrow? You're going back into the same office, same person, same chaos. I groaned. Exactly. And he's probably plotting something worse. Emma leaned back. Honestly, it sounds like he's into you. But also, he's the boss, so tread carefully. And maybe, just maybe, have some fun with it. I laughed weakly. Fun? My life just became a rom-com, and I'm the tragic heroine. Emma winked. Or the leading lady. Either way, buckle up. Act professional-ish. And don't let him know how flustered you are. Though, let's be honest, that's impossible. I stared at my reflection in the window. The city lights blurred, but one thing was crystal clear: the next day at the office was going to be interesting. Little did I know, Emma's advice would be tested immediately. Because when I walked in the next morning, he was already there, leaning casually against the doorway, smiling like a man who knew exactly the chaos he'd caused, and was planning the next round. The next morning, Lily walked into the office feeling like she was walking into a battlefield. Her heels clicked nervously on the floor, and her coffee cup felt heavier than a bowling ball. She was ready to survive, she hoped. Her boss, Mark, was already there, casually leaning against the doorway, smirking like he had rehearsed this moment for days. Good morning, Lily, he said, his tone perfectly calm, but his eyes sparkling with mischief. Good morning, she replied, trying to sound professional, but her voice betrayed her. As she made her way to her desk, she noticed small traps everywhere. A sticky note on her computer that said, "Careful with reports, unlike last night." She froze, staring at it for a full 10 seconds before realizing it was just a joke, probably. The first meeting of the day was a disaster waiting to happen. Mark walked in just as she was presenting a report. I think Lily's analysis is excellent, he said loudly, glancing at her. I especially admire how she can focus, even after a very distracting masquerade night. Her face turned crimson. She coughed, trying to regain composure, while the whole team smiled politely, probably guessing something, but not quite knowing what. Lily retreated to her desk, trying to hide behind her computer screen. But Mark wasn't done. He leaned over her cubicle later, looking at her monitor. Wow, your spreadsheet is impressive, he said. I didn't know someone could be that precise after such exciting social events. Lily groaned. Mark, please. Please what? He asked, raising an eyebrow. Pretend last night didn't happen? Yes. That, she muttered. During lunch, she tried to escape to the cafeteria, hoping for peace. But of course, fate had other plans. Mark appeared with his tray, sitting across from her. You know, he said, casually stirring his coffee, I'm starting to enjoy these little encounters. You look great, by the way. Still recovering from the masquerade? Lily nearly dropped her sandwich. I'm fine, she stammered, wishing the floor would swallow her whole. You sure? You seem slightly distracted, he teased. She buried her face in her hands, feeling Emma's voice in her head, act professional-ish. By the end of the day, Lily's nerves were shot. She felt like she had run a marathon without moving an inch. Finally, she texted Emma as soon as she got home. "Lily, I don't think I can survive tomorrow. He's everywhere. I'm trapped in a rom-com, and I'm the main character who can't breathe." Emma, haha, I told you. Step 1, survive. Step 2, survive better. Step 3, maybe, don't spill coffee on him. Lily laughed despite herself. Step 3 is going to be impossible. I think he's trying to provoke me. Emma smirked. Or maybe he's into you. Just a thought. Lily groaned. Emma, we're not even at coffee yet. Don't jinx me. After a few minutes, she realized something, maybe it wasn't all bad. The teasing, the attention, the ridiculous nudge-nudge-wink moments, it was chaotic, yes, but thrilling too. She texted Emma back, okay, fine. Maybe it's a little exciting. But don't tell him I said that. Emma replied instantly, mum's the word. But you're definitely blushing. Lily rolled her eyes, but a tiny smile appeared. Tomorrow at the office would be another round of chaos, but maybe, just maybe, she was starting to enjoy the game. Little did Lily know, Mark had already planned his next accidental encounter for the morning, and it would involve the copy machine. The next morning, Lily walked into the office feeling different. She couldn't explain it. The teasing was gone, or at least, he wasn't joking this time. Mark's gaze followed her as she settled at her desk, and she felt it in her chest, a mixture of nerves and something else she couldn't name. Lily, he said quietly, as if no one else was around, can I see you for a moment? Her stomach did a flip. This wasn't a casual comment at the coffee machine. It was serious, but not entirely professional. She followed him to the small conference room. No one else was there. The door clicked shut behind her. Mark leaned against the table, watching her. About last night, he said. His voice was lower now, softer, deliberate. I can't stop thinking about it. About you. Lily swallowed hard. Mark, Shoo, he interrupted, stepping closer. Not here. Not now. Just this. Her heart pounded. He reached for her hand, brushing it lightly. That simple touch sent electricity through her. You don't understand what you do to me, he murmured. Lily wanted to step back. Her brain screamed, this is your boss. Stop. Think. But her body wasn't listening. She felt herself leaning forward, drawn in by him. He moved closer, closing the tiny distance between them. His lips hovered near hers, and Lily felt the warmth, the tension. Just one more time, he whispered. The room felt smaller, the air thicker. Her hands trembled slightly as he traced his fingers along her wrist, gently, deliberately. She could hear her own breathing, loud and fast, and somehow, he didn't flinch, didn't stop. And then, finally, they kissed. Slow, deliberate, different from the reckless rush at the masquerade. This one was charged with intention, with meaning, with the weight of every stolen glance, every teasing comment that led to this moment. When they finally broke apart, Lily rested her forehead against his chest, her heart racing. Mark, we can't, she whispered. I know, he said softly, his lips brushing her hair. We'll figure it out. But right now, I can't pretend I don't want this. The sound of footsteps outside made them jump. They straightened, pretending nothing had happened, but the air between them was electric, charged, unspoken promises lingering in every glance. All day, Lily couldn't focus. Every small look from Mark, every casual brush of hands, made her pulse race. It was dangerous. Reckless. Perfect. By the time she got home, Emma was waiting. You look like you survived a war, Emma said, peering at her. You have no idea, Lily replied, sinking onto the couch. We kissed. For real this time. Emma's eyes went wide. Oh my God. Finally. So, how was it? Intense, Lily admitted. And terrifying. And amazing. Emma laughed. Sounds like a normal Thursday for your love life. Lily shook her head. It's not normal. He's my boss. Everything is complicated. But thrilling, right? Emma smirked. Lily hesitated, then smiled. Yeah, thrilling. And as she lay in bed that night, replaying every second, she realized one thing: there was no going back. The masquerade kiss had started this, but now, things were real. Mark wasn't just teasing anymore. He was taking action. And Lily didn't know if she was ready, or willing, to resist. The next morning, Lily felt a mix of excitement and dread. Mark had already texted her before she arrived, "See you at your desk. Don't be late." Her stomach twisted. This wasn't a joke anymore. This was him making a move, and she couldn't ignore it. She entered the office, trying to act casual, but Mark was already there, leaning against the corner of her cubicle. His expression was calm, controlled, but his eyes were anything but. "Good morning," he said softly. His hand brushed hers as she passed him. That small touch sent shivers down her spine. Lily tried to focus on work, typing furiously, but every glance from him felt like an electric current. Then, without warning, he appeared at her side. "I thought we could sneak out for a quick break," he murmured, voice low, almost intimate. Lily froze. "Mark, the office." "I know," he interrupted gently. "But it'll be fast. Just a few minutes." She hesitated, then nodded. Something about the way he looked at her made saying no impossible. They slipped out of the office and walked to a quiet rooftop terrace nearby. The city stretched out below them, lights twinkling like stars. For a moment, the world disappeared, leaving only the two of them. Mark stepped close. His hands framed her face, and he leaned in. "Lily," he whispered, "I can't stop thinking about you. I don't want to pretend anymore." She closed her eyes, heart racing. "Mark, this is dangerous," she murmured, but her voice lacked conviction. "Maybe," he admitted, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "But some things are worth the risk." And then he kissed her. This time, slow, deep, with a certainty that made Lily's knees weak. Every tension, every hesitation melted away. It wasn't just attraction, it was connection, undeniable and real. When they finally pulled back, they were both breathless. "We can't go back," Lily said softly, resting her forehead against his chest. "We don't have to," he replied. "We move forward. Together. Carefully, but together." They stayed there for a moment, holding each other, the city beneath them, the night wrapping them in secrecy and possibility. The next day in the office, everything was different. The teasing was gone, replaced by something more subtle, more intimate, glances that lasted a second too long, small touches when passing by, smiles that carried a private secret. Their coworkers had no idea, but Lily didn't care. That night, she called Emma. "You won't believe it," Lily said, a mix of excitement and disbelief in her voice. "What?" "Don't tell me," he finally. "Yes," Lily interrupted, laughing. "It's real. And yes, it's complicated. And thrilling. And I wouldn't change a thing." Emma grinned. "Finally. I was waiting for this part. Told you it was worth the chaos." Lily smiled, leaning back in her chair. The masquerade, the teasing, the stolen moments, it had all led to this. Risky? Absolutely. Dangerous? Maybe. But also, perfect. And as she drifted to sleep that night, Lily realized one thing: some chances only come once, and she wasn't letting this one go. Mark had crossed the line. She had crossed the line. And together, they were unstoppable.